Welcome, low ego action heroes and phoenixes, to another Take Action Tuesday. I'm Debbie Levitt from dcx, and I am open to work in case you are looking for someone you can drag into your world and you need some CX or UX or product strategy help. Won't you please think of me? Welcome, Ana Lucia, already messaging us down here. And please remember that you can join our community for free. We've got an active Discord community, lots of events that are usually free. Our Patreon is free. And of course, we hope you'll subscribe on Twitch. I just think at this point that's better than LinkedIn and YouTube. And hello, YouTubers on the old dcx channel. We are also streaming to you today as well, because you may or may not have known that we have an additional channel called dcx Hive. And that's where I've been streaming for most of the last couple of years. The other channel was starting to be shadow banned too much, and I started a new channel as an experiment. So won't you please join us at dcx.hive on YouTube and on Twitch. LinkedIn also, but really it's best on Twitch, let's face it. Okay, so today is episode 276, and it's called mefactors. And it's a little tool I put together to try to estimate, calculate, wonder about whether or not whatever job we do is more or less likely to be eaten partially or wholly by AI in the coming years, or for some people, months. This morning, I heard from one of my coaching clients, dcx.coach, and she was like, oh, it's the beginning of the end. And she sent me a screenshot from an internal memo where her company decided that since Retool is so fantastic for creating interfaces, we probably don't need product designers anymore. And that is not a good thing. So I want to make sure people understand that even though we are talking about the possibility or the likelihood of AI taking some or all of our jobs, I want to make sure people know I'm not for that. I'm against that. I believe work for humans needs to involve humans. As long as we are building products, services, features, touch points, interfaces, experiences, and more for humans, humans should be working on that. Humans do it best. There are areas where AI can help us. We did episode 275 on a little bit of that. Hey, mystery. Oh, I'm going to be starting karaoke again soon. I hope to see you there. Request a song. So I'm not for it. So I want to make sure that even though we are talking about the possibility of AI cannibalizing our jobs, I want to make sure that people know I am not coming from the perspective of, woohoo, this will be great. I'm coming from the perspective of, hey, this is sobering. This is tough. This could happen. Let's try to be ready for it. And of course, don't forget to check out my book, Life After Tech, where you can start to brainstorm the work that you might do when you're done with tech or tech is done with you. Pop in for church. Okay. Welcome. Testify. Ana Lucia says, there's one thing to consider before moving forward. Even if we think AI won't take our job, or the tool I made says it's unlikely, it doesn't mean executives won't think that way. They don't care. They want more money in their pocket, and we are more expensive than AI. It says, oh, thank you. Thank you for Alil Chunky. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Yeah, Ana Lucia says they want more money in their pocket. We look expensive and they don't care. Yes, praise be. And so, yes, just have a moment there. Yeah, so I agree with Ana Lucia that even when we feel like AI can't take our job, AI shouldn't take our job, there are still people, as I say in Life After Tech, the people who decide that AI can do your job don't understand your job. So it's usually something that's a bit out of our control. So let me share my screen and show you where I started and where I ended up. Zip. Okay, so this is me in a chat with Claude. And what happened was, did anybody read? It kind of went semi-viral on LinkedIn over the summer, because I'm talking to you in October 2025. Mystery says it's hard to sell through the value of design and our contributions as highly skilled, and they don't understand our job. So true, and we're going to talk about that today. So I started with the paper from Tomlinson. I don't know if anyone saw that. It went around LinkedIn a bit over the summer, and when I asked Claude to go through this paper with me, it was so academic, it was a little bit over my head. And I said, can you help me understand the factors that these people put in to try to understand if AI can or should, I think their paper was, can AI cannibalize your job or can AI help your job? And they were trying to take a look at which jobs might AI, let's call it, cannibalize, and which jobs might AI help or assist. And I thought that was interesting, but I found their ultimate paradigm or equation or whatever they came up with difficult to understand and wrangle. So as you can see, it was broken down into these 4 areas. SOC occupation codes. So you had to understand how to classify your work based on SOC occupations. And sometimes what you do doesn't fit well into standard occupation codes. Then it was O-net work activity decomposition, breaking jobs into intermediate work activities, which was a little tough for me to run my head around. Then they were looking at data from trying to have Microsoft Copilot do certain tasks. And I found Copilot to be the worst AI out of all of them. Yeah, Ana Lucia says, Copilot, I'm laughing here. Yeah, and again, maybe this paper is from, it might have been just published. Maybe these people were doing this research for quite a while. Maybe, who knows why they picked Copilot. But again, that's, you can do that. You do you. I don't recommend Copilot for pretty much anything. I've turned it off everywhere I can. And then they had kind of a scoring of, can AI augment or assist your work versus can AI automate or perform your work technically for you? And while it looked like a data-driven and rigorous academic paper, it was tough. It was academic and abstract, so it was not like you could read the paper and then easily plug in your own information and calculate for yourself. It was really tough for me to wrap my head around. It was also looking backwards at past usage of Copilot, and so that's not a good AI to focus on, and doesn't account for other models or the future, and also missed a lot of factors that Claude and I discussed when we made the mefactors, like organizational politics, how hard it can be to prove your value, cost-cutting incentives, as the chat is talking about, and whether how much people notice quality problems from AI, because nearly everybody trying AI in their jobs sees some sort of quality problem. But does anybody care? Are these problems or bad decisions or mistakes visible? And then again, it was hard. And again, mine isn't necessarily actionable either. It's just more of a scoring adventure that I thought was better than Tomlinson. Work slop academic. Ana Lucia says there was a Microsoft layoff this week in Portugal. Reason? Their AI expenses, Copilot expenses, are getting out of hand. They decided the best way to deal with that was to lay people off. Just great. Now we're discarded for random reasons. Right. We're cutting human salaries for humans we need because we just want to spend that money somewhere else. You would think Microsoft has some spare money. So I'm not too sure why they would need to, sorry, my mother-in-law's visiting and her phone is ringing. That is the fun of my microphone being good at picking up everything in the room. So we created mefactors, and here's where we went with it. And we being Mia and Claude. This was Claude's sonnet. I think I started in sonnet 4 and it automatically upgraded to 4.5 when that model came out. And so we took a look at these 9 factors to try to figure out not if AI can help you. I'll let you decide that. Can AI help your work? You tell me. Some people say, yeah, oh yeah, AI is helping my work. Like, for example, I did episode 275 on how I'm using Claude for some qualitative research, analysis, synthesis, and reporting help. I think that is an area where AI can help me, but it doesn't replace me, not even close. So here were the factors we came up with, and we decided to weight them. You may or may not agree with my factors. You may or may not agree with my weighting. You can always take these into Claude and make your own thing. But this is where I went with it, and maybe it will, help you think about it. Highly recommend Debbie's book. Thank you, Soul Eater. So with a Bob Ross, thank you. So yes, life after tech, and Mystery says record profits for most of these companies last few years. Layoffs are not justified. Yes, that's true. And in the old days, when companies would lay people off, their stock price would fall because people thought, oh my gosh, these companies are so messed up that they have to quickly save money by cutting important people. Wow, let's lower consumer confidence. Now when they lay people off, their stock goes up. People go, hooray, they're saving money. So it's all messed up. It's a new world. So these were the factors that we put into this system. Market pressure with no particular weighting, 1x. So is the industry cutting costs, and your company might just be under pressure to cut costs? E for executive strategy, which we weighted a little bit higher, whether executives tend to be more strategic or more tactical, in the hopes that more strategic executives or leadership will want people to do good work, even if they are cutting costs. Fragmentation, which we gave a little higher weighting. Can your work be broken into pieces? So for example, someone might say, here's this person's job, but we think AI can do this piece, and we think we need humans to do this piece. So can your work be broken into pieces where someone might think AI can replace some of these tasks? Mystery reminding us that it's profitable to be unethical, unfortunately. Ana Lucia reminding us that they were reducing expenses with people to be able to pay co-pilots' bills, especially energy. Okay, back to the framework. Sorry about that. AI capability. Can AI do your work? We gave that a higher weighting because, sure, AI can try to do your work, but if AI does your work badly or really can't do it, and especially Copilot can't, then that is part of our weighting. And is AI way cheaper than you? We'll weight that as well, because especially where people are trying to cut costs, that could be a factor. Transparency challenges. Will quality problems be obvious? People keep telling me AI is going to crash the plane and then they'll rehire people. I don't think so. AI keeps crashing the plane, and they keep cutting people to pay for AI crashing the plane and rebuilding the plane. So the question is, if there are problems with the quality of AI's work, will people see that? Will they understand that it came from the AI? Will this be obvious? Will it be appropriately blamed on the AI? We've also got organizational distance, which we gave a little bit less of a weighting, which is how far are you from decision makers? I think Claude believed that the more removed you are from leadership. Oh, thank you for the Twitch follow, Soul Eater. Yes, please follow us on Twitch. Be cool. Good to see you. Would fragmentation apply to whether your parts of your job could be done better by a human? Yeah, it's something that I think Tomlinson had, which was breaking jobs into intermediate work activities. So we tried to think of a similar dimension, but one that made more sense to humans, because when I looked at this, I didn't know what this meant. And so we looked at, can your work be broken into pieces? So for example, if you take product manager, could AI make a roadmap? Could AI make a product requirements document? Could AI keep stakeholders informed? Could AI make strategic decisions? Could AI do some project management? If we took a product manager's job and tried to break it into pieces, can AI do some or all of that well? And if so, it might be more likely that your job is cannibalized to AI. Thank you for the question. So organizational difference, how far are you from decision makers? Meaning, are you visible? Do people understand what you do? Do they see the value and the impact? Very often they don't. Role saturation. Are there tons of people who can do your job? For many of us right now, that's yes. We like to think that we're special. All of you, each of you is special. I believe in that, but I also know that when I apply for a job, I'm up against 1,000 great people. And so there are a ton of people who can do my job. And again, is it hard to prove the value? We hoped that this would be a little bit more user-friendly than what Tomlinson had. So we were inspired by Tomlinson, but trying to improve on it. We hope that this would capture more factors for what's really going on in our industry here in at least fall 2025. It's October 2025 when I'm talking to you about this. And since it is, since we made a Claude artifact out of it, which I'll show you in a moment, you can try it. And you can even take these pieces, make your own Claude artifact, change them into what you want. So again, Tomlinson gave us the academic foundation, but we hope we're giving you a practical tool that we can try. So before I go to the tool, let's, among us live in the chat, let's decide what job we're going to put into the tool. And you're going to help answer the questions with me. Each question is going to ask you to rate things on a scale, and I want you to rate them with me live in the chat, which is why joining on Twitch is so great. There's like a 7-second lag. We'll be able to do it together. Cybersecurity specialist. I'm not sure if we built that one in there. And Ana Lucia says, rage moment. I hate when companies lay people off due to AI to save money and give enormous raises to executives. Agree. Can our artifact handle cybersecurity specialist as a job? I don't remember if we built that one in. Let's see what Claude says. It does not. Looks like it's going to update it. Okay, please hold. Ooh, look at it go. It's adding a bunch of things. Now again, Claude is deciding different factors. So what you're seeing is the behind the scenes code of how Claude decided each of those factors is going to be weighted for a particular job. It should be relatively low risk, but we'll see. I think we should, so let's refresh this. This should be fresh. I love the Amazon, we don't need cybersecurity, and then they get screwed. I was looking at this the other day for product designer. Let's start with product designer. How many of you out there are designers, or should we do researchers? Let's start with something in our UX universe, or maybe a product manager. What live chat people, what would you like me to try first? And again, this is just a tool I made. Maybe it stinks, maybe it's wacky, but we'll give it a try. Scrum Master. I don't think we have that. Full stack UX person here. Okay, so let's start with product designer. And you're going to help me answer each of the questions. So here we go. Market pressure. How competitive is the industry? Are there recent layoffs in your sector? Is there shareholder or investor pressure for cost cutting? So you would give this a high score if you feel there is significant disruption and cost-cutting focus, and you would give this a low risk if you feel like this is a growing industry or maybe there's a talent shortage. Like sometimes you see people on LinkedIn going, ooh, it's turning around, there's lots of open jobs, this is great. Those people would probably give this a low number. What product designer? Hi, Alia. So what number? I think my range goes from 1 to 9. And I don't know why. That's just the way Claude and I built it. So 1 to 9, ghost jobs. So what score would you give market pressure? Because we're gonna be scoring each of the factors. I think there's 9 factors, and then it's gonna give us a score at the end. How would you score this? Do you feel this is a stable industry, a growing industry, or product design is a bit on the decline and they would rather lay people off and cut costs? What score do you think we should give from 1 to 9? Take a look. Live chat room, what do you think? live chat room got suddenly quiet. Am I still live here? Hello? Well, if nobody is going to answer, I would probably give it a 7 because I think we are headed towards disruption and cost cutting for product designers. I don't think it is a growing industry. I don't think we have a talent shortage. I don't think it's stable. So if y'all aren't going to yell out scores from 1 to 9, I'm going to go with what I think. I'm going to go with a 7 here. Get ready to answer the next one, everybody. Come on. All right. Next. Oh, I think we missed one previous. Okay. Next. Execution, right? That was step 2. Yeah. So next, execution versus strategy. So you would give a low score here if you feel that product design is highly strategic and can set direction. It has decision-making authority. And you would give it a high score if you feel like it's a primarily tactical job. You are pushing shapes around Figma. You are mostly executing on tactics. Yeah, it's a little laggy. Sorry. Cost cutting's been ongoing and imitated us a few years, 7 to 9 here. Yeah, so what Brandon says 9. Yes, I think I can agree. Product design has become very tactical. It is very rarely strategic. Maybe some of you feel 7 or 8, but I could certainly see this being highly tactical. And yeah, it depends on the company culture, but this is a little tool that you can use. Oh, and I forgot to tell everybody where to find the tool. Let me put that up on the screen for a moment. And that would be, let's put this up on the screen. You can find this tool at dcx.to/mefactors, all one word, mefactors. That's where I am right now, and it's just a shared Claude document. Cherish says maybe I'd give this a 7. Well, let's split the difference and give it an 8. Next one, fragmentation. How discrete are your tasks? Are there interdependencies between responsibilities? How integrated is your workflow? So give this a low score if your work feels highly integrated and interdependent, and give it a high score if you feel like there are tasks you do that are easy to separate, like the product manager example I gave before. I think there's a lot of things that a product manager does that feel somewhat dependent on each other, but can also be very separated. Alia says, depending on the company, I enter jobs wishing it's strategic, but the reality is pixel pushing based on the CEO's features desire. Absolutely agree. There is a big difference between the way the job is sold to us in a job description or an interview and the reality. So product designers, do product designers have easily separable tasks? I think this one is hard because I think sometimes product design feels like product design. You know, what are the tasks that make up product design? Prototyping, designing. I think these are pretty much the same thing. So I think I would give this a lower score. What do y'all think? I'm thinking about a 4 here just because I feel like product design isn't broken into too many pieces, but maybe some of you have a perspective that says it is. But what do you think? I've had the luxury to straddle product management with strategic design work, but that's a higher, yeah. And again, these answers are going to be different for different people in different countries, at different levels, in different companies. But this is just an exercise for us to try this together. B says, go with the middle. Okay, we'll go with the middle. Next one. AI capability. How much is there pattern recognition versus novel problem solving? How structured is your data and workflow? So give this a low score if AI can assist with minimal aspects of your job, and give it a high score if AI can perform most aspects of the job. Now again, There's a difference between can AI do it and does it do it well? But when I think about product design, I think there's a lot of stuff that AI is doing, even if it's not great. So I would probably give this a higher score here because I think a lot of people feel like AI can create a design system. We know Figma has AI tools. Miro has AI tools for prototyping. I think there's a lot of things AI is doing and trying to do in the design and prototyping space. Replit, Lovable, Retool, a lot of these will design for you and you just write a sentence. So even though we know AI is not as good as a human, I'd probably give this a high score. Ana Lucia says the research is still quite human. Yes, right now we're looking at product designer. TuneSys can design, just not very well. Thank you, B. I'm going to go with an 8. I've convinced myself, but if you have a different score, you can shout it out. But let's keep going. Okay, this is cost differential. We would give this a low score. Yeah. We would give this a low score if AI costs a lot more than humans. And I think right now AI is costing more than humans, especially if Microsoft and others have to lay people off to pay for AI. I think AI is still very expensive. So for example, does AI cost half of your salary if it's going to try to replace you? Does it cost 30% of your salary or less? What do we think? There are a ton of companies that expect product designers to do everything, including research. Okay, but right now we're looking at just design. You can certainly go through this. This is publicly available. You can go through it again for more of a UX unicorn job if you'd like to. Soul Eater says, how is a PM going to communicate ideas to the PD? Telepathy, or is the product manager going to prompt their way to design? Currently, they've been prompting their way to design. They go into Lovable or Replit and they say, I want a thing that does this, and it designs it for them. So, yeah, they prompt it. So what do you think? What does AI cost compared to your salary? I don't really know. When I look at how many people have to be laid off for people to invest in AI, it sure seems like AI is really expensive, but AI costs less than human salary. Right. In a sense it does. So I'll just leave it at a 7 out of 10 to say that AI does cost noticeably less if you're a product designer. Next, I don't really know how to figure out. Yeah, it's hard to know. Next is transparency challenges. How quickly are AI mistakes noticed? What feedback loops exist for quality? How tangible are your outputs? So you would give this a low score if AI were to make a mistake, and we would notice those problems pretty much immediately, in a matter of days. We would give this a medium score if AI were to make a mistake and the issues would take weeks or months to figure out. And we would give this a high score if issues may be very, very hard to find, or we're not sure what or who caused the problem. I might give this more of a middle score. I think sometimes when AI makes a mistake, but people are still confident about it, engineers build it, it goes out to customers. We don't know for some time that whatever AI gave us was not a good design or solution or whatever it is. So AI never says, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm not too sure here. I'll split the difference. Maybe give it a 6. Soul Eater says high. Yeah. And B says 7 because AI will just make stuff and it never says I don't know. But then are we double checking it? Because if we can see immediately that AI is doing crap, then we have the chance to say, oh, let's make this better. And we talked about that last week on episode 275. But a lot of people aren't doing that. AI makes something, they run with it, they copy and paste it. So can take a while to figure out this didn't go well. So let's try a 6 here and see how we do. This is organizational distance. I think a lot of product designers are very far away from executives. They're many layers away. There are seniors or leads, there are managers and directors and VPs, but it depends upon your company and the size of your company. So different people will have different answers for this. Alia says, if designers are the one checking the mistakes, it would be apparent to the designers. But if the person receiving it is not an expert, they wouldn't notice it easily. Excellent point. Yes. And that's why I gave it a little bit of a higher score there, because I'm imagining, what if AI were trying to do your job and it was being done by a non-product designer and that person didn't know if something was good or not? They probably wouldn't know for weeks or months or longer. So how many layers is the average product designer removed from real leadership and executives? And how misunderstood are product designers? I'd have to give that a pretty high score. Yeah, Russian nesting dolls of silos. So true. So I would say with product designers still being misunderstood and often very far away from leadership, and as Mystery pointed out, siloed, I'd probably give this one a higher score. Next, role saturation. Give this a low score if there is a shortage of qualified talent. Not so much. And give this a high score if there's an oversupply of qualified candidates. Do we agree that there is an oversupply right now of qualified product designers who are ready and available to do these jobs? It's an employer's market, not a candidate's market. I would give this a very high score. There are so many qualified product designers out there looking for work. Yeah, 100%. This goes up to 90. I don't know why we just did this from 10 to 90. I don't know why Claude did that, and I never bothered fixing it, but there you go. Yep, lots of candidates. Many are qualified, some are not. So I'll give this a high score. Showcase, ad break. Okay, thank you for letting me know. We will just waste a little time for a moment while Twitch has an ad break. I will go keep an eye on that. So pressing pause. Twitch has a 90-second ad break. We will wait. I will say I am pausing for the ad break. So yeah, thanks to everybody for joining in, and please remember to join our Discord community. It's completely free. It's pretty active. You can find it at dcx.to/Discord. And you have to fight against the FANG or the MAG 7 people that were laid off. Yes, it is a candidates market. And tune in for future stuff. I recommend joining us here on Twitch, and then we do archive stuff on YouTube if you miss it. YouTube is nice for archives. Twitch, I think, is better for live streaming. Boot camps were a huge problem. I think they still are a huge problem. I think a lot of people are still being told, take this course, get this certificate, go to the boot camp. Who's looking for that anymore? Yep, and the copy and paste portfolios. These are all still real problems. So yes, well, it's been a problem for like 10 years that people take a 3-month boot camp and they think they're totally qualified. All right, ad break ending in 20 seconds. Thanks to everybody for killing some time with me. By the way, our old internet service is back on again, and we were able to cancel Starlink. So it only took 5 months, but we're back on our old internet service. Hooray. All right, so the next factor that we are looking at, thinking about product designers right now, is, can you demonstrate your value? If you have clear, quantifiable value metrics of some sort where people can go, aha, we really know we're getting great stuff from those product designers. Holy cats, we can really tell their impact. It is measurable, maybe through metrics or something else, then we would give this a low score. If it is hard to show impact as a designer, especially numerically, as many companies prefer. They want to see some sort of numbers. We would give this a high score. And I would say, given how misunderstood designers are and how they rarely get credit for successes or failure, I would probably give this a high score because it is hard to show impact as a product designer. Yeah, worst job market in history. Agree. Anybody want to suggest a different score for showcasing your impact? It is hard to show impact. A good design and good experience can be invisible. And sometimes the bad design we've created was dictated to us by a leader or product manager. Whose fault is that? Does anybody know or care? So I'll go with 8 here. And there you go. So based on this, the score ends up a 72 out of a possible 100, with my little Claude artifact saying, hey, product designer is at a very high risk for being replaced by AI. And again, this can be different in different companies. It can be different in different countries or regions. It's all going to be individual to your experiences. And that's why this is a little tool that you are welcome to try yourself. You can also make your own variation of it if you don't agree with my factors or how they're weighted or how Claude calculated that. Again, you can find it's totally free. It's just a Claude artifact. It's at dcx.to/mefactors. And Ana Lucia says, I still remember Larry's story about how the dev team changed his Pro Flowers design. Going rogue. Very true. So that is how my mefactors work. So what can you do about that? It's very hard to stop the train that is already out of the station and that is running. A lot of companies want AI to take over part or all of our jobs, and they want to find the people who can prompt the AI, and many companies don't seem to care if that is a specialist or expert in the field or if anybody can prompt the AI. Can I prompt the AI to do coding? I could, but am I likely to have the best outputs and outcomes because I'm not an engineer and I won't be able to understand that code or fix it? I will not have the best outputs or outcomes, but maybe somebody doesn't care. Maybe I charge less than an engineer and that's all they care about. Alia says, does that mean it's time to pivot to other fields? In my opinion, and people can disagree with this, I would say yes, but let me explain, because I don't feel like you have to run out tomorrow and quit your job. If you have a job, if you like your job, if your job is okay, if your job pays money, if you can live with it, keep it. Nobody says you have to quit your job tomorrow. If you have a job, I'm happy you have it. Hold on to it. However, I do believe that we are going to be facing seeing our jobs reduced, seeing them changed, seeing us under pressure to use AI, seeing other people under pressure to use AI to do our jobs, like I'm seeing more product managers vibing design because they have Figma and Miro and Replit and Lovable and other tools that will do design. So again, I am recommending my Life After Tech book. It's very inexpensive. You can find it at lifeaftertech.info, and that will help you start brainstorming different career paths. And again, the problem is due to what's going on in the industry now. We can't just brainstorm, ooh, I'm a designer, could I be a product manager? That's going to be very hard, because if anybody is hiring for a product manager, they probably want the experienced product manager. They don't want the newbie who's just trying to transition into this now. They don't want the person who just learned it yesterday. And product managers are also in trouble as well. Miro has a sidekick that will pretend to be a product manager. Every tool can write your product requirements document. So these aren't safe jobs. In my opinion, none of these feel safe. Alia says, I'm unemployed and frustrated with the job market. Honestly, don't know how long I should keep trying in this direction and when it's time to pivot. I think, Alia, my advice to you would be, who said you can't do both at the same time? Because you're saying, how long should I keep trying versus when do I stop trying and pivot? And my question would be, why can't you keep applying for jobs while trying to find something else? That's what life after tech is about. It doesn't say you have to quit your job. It doesn't say you have to stop trying. It doesn't say you can't work in tech ever again. It says while you're keeping your job or while you're trying to find a job, what else could you be doing? Start brainstorming, start planting seeds, start having a plan. It's so important to have a plan because by the time you'll need that plan, you'll wish you had it. And so the whole point is not to say, oh, you must either stay in tech or you must pivot. And I think you can do both. Nothing stops you from applying to tech jobs or even taking a tech job while trying to plant seeds or get into other stuff. You don't have to just do one. And Mystery reminds us jobs are not safe. My contract just ended early. I thought it was safe. I thought I was going to be there a long time. They gave me a contract for 14 months. I was like, great, I'm finally going to get to drop anchor somewhere. I'm already showing impact. I'm going to show it long term. I'm so excited about that. And then they decided Deb's expensive, Deb's this and that, Deb's out of here. So the jobs aren't safe. Ana Lucia says, funny thing, not even healthcare is safe. They want healthcare workers and they want to pay them peanuts. Mystery says, hard to plan in times of uncertainty like this, but explore options and keep paths open. Poverty wages in all levels of high skill labor. Yes, and I think part of it is we're going to have to adjust. People who are making excellent money in tech, first of all, they're generally not making that kind of money anymore. Some of the tech jobs that I'm seeing are offering me a lot less than I used to make. And that's the direction the market is going because it's an employer's market. They want to see things done with AI. They have their pick of whoever they want, and so they're starting to pay people less. This is what I'm seeing out there. Our salaries are not going up. Our jobs are not more secure. And I worry about all the talking heads on LinkedIn and social media who say, don't worry, you're going to get a job. It's just around the corner. It's going to pay well. It's going to be stable. AI is going to crash the plane and they need people. We did this in episode 270. If you are not too sure about this, please, please, please watch episode 270 because I went into this in great detail. I spent months writing a webinar to explain why I do not believe that AI will lead to an increase or resurgence in most tech jobs, especially UX. You can find that archived on the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and write dcx.to 270 and that episode should come up. It's free. Alia says the problem with pivoting is that everything needs skills. It's hard to choose something new to learn and develop while trying a different direction. And again, that's why I've got this. It's got 18 exercises in it, and do all of them if you can, do most of them, and just think about new areas to go into. It is hard to transition into another tech job right now. People say to me, Deb, why haven't you transitioned into service design? Why haven't you transitioned into product management? Because they don't want that. They don't want Debbie just transitioning in. They want someone with years of experience, with years of a track record. I see very few jobs that say, hey, we need a service designer, but we don't care if you've never done this before. Come on in. No, jobs typically say, we want experience, we want the track record, we want proven this and that. A lot of product management jobs say that you must have shipped a product 0 to 1. I haven't done that. So could I do product management work? I believe I could. I think I'd be great at it. But people don't want me because I haven't done a lot of it before. I've done some, but not a lot. So I don't look like an attractive candidate. I can't easily transition into another tech job. Ana Lucia says, I still see the government and everyone else crying on TV about not having enough doctors and healthcare workers, but do nothing to change that. They could, I don't know, offer higher salaries, but no, it's easier to say people don't want to work anymore instead of saying the truth. We have a doctor shortage here as well in Italy. We have a terrible doctor shortage, and what are they going to do about that? You've got to give people doctors, and you've got to pay doctors something, and you've got to make it worth it. And I don't have the answers here. I'm mostly here to just remind people that go play with the mefactors tool. Go make your own tool. We really need to start asking ourselves the tough questions of, is it possible that in the coming years, maybe months, maybe years, could AI take some or all of our jobs? Or could someone prompting an AI tool take our jobs? Could a product manager prompting an AI tool take a product designer's jobs? Maybe. Kapow. Could they take a researcher's jobs? Probably less likely. Could a product designer prompting AI tools take a product manager's job? Maybe. These are all the things we need to think about so that we can come up with, the conclusion I hope people will come up with is, my job might not last me till retirement. That's what I believe. I believe that our jobs are unlikely to last us till retirement. I'm worried that I'm not going to be doing UX research in 10 or 15 years. Someone's going to decide they don't need me. They're either going to keep picking the cheapest person they can find or the cheapest AI tool. Do you see these challenges globally? I was under the assumption that Europe had better worker protections. Europe might have some worker protections. A friend wrote me the other day to say his manager was threatening to fire him in the future if he didn't use more AI, but he's a developer, and he said right now AI slows him down because AI doesn't write code as well as he does, and he doesn't want to use AI. He also finds AI to be unethical and an unnecessary use of natural resources, and he said, I'm going to talk to my union about it. Cool. If you have a union, that sounds like a great person to talk to. Americans generally don't. Not everybody does. So while there are work protections, they don't necessarily save us in this case, because that manager can go back to my friend and say, well, we've just decided we don't need your job anymore and we're laying you off. What stops them from that? I'm not sure anything does. Yeah, maybe the union can help, and maybe this can be delayed, but in the end, what stops the company from saying, well, we have 2,000 programmers here, we think we only need 500. And can a union stop that from happening? I don't know. I didn't think so. So to me, if we believe that salaries are going down, if we believe it's harder to find a job, if we believe that transitioning is tough, if we believe unions and worker protections might not save us, and if we believe that there's a future where technology jobs need us less or not at all, if these things are possible, what are you doing? What's your plan? That's my question. Everybody should have a plan. Everybody could have more than one plan. It's going to take planning. It's going to take experimenting. It's going to take planting seeds and trying different things. It might take combining multiple smaller jobs or side work into an income. Ana Lucia says layoff law needs to be reworked. If they do layoffs, they shouldn't be able to do any hiring for a while to make sure they aren't using temp workers or laying off skilled workers to get cheaper labor. Yeah, that's a good point. That would certainly stop companies, or at least make them think twice about whether or not they want to cut people. Like, hey, if you cut people, you can't hire for this again for 5 years or some wild number, 3 years, something that's eternity in technology. Mystery says plan to survive. Yeah, we're going to need to survive. What is that plan? What kind of work can we do? I believe, and again, this is my opinion, I can't prove it, don't run out and do anything because I said so. Think about this critically, come to your own conclusions. But I think we're going to return to the type of society where we are performing services for each other in small and personal ways. Mystery has zucchini, and I do life coaching, and we're going to trade. Survive despite them. And Ana Lucia does physical therapy, and I do life coaching, and we're going to trade. And these, community. I think it's going to be about local community and global community. That's where I think the future is. I think it's going to be a lot more barter and trading and a lot less exchange of money. And I think we're just going to want to get things we need from each other. And I hope that our Discord community can be at the center of some of that. We've got over 600 people there now. And I think as people move into new lines of business and services and products, that we will be there to support each other. That's what I hope. Zucchini and seeds. Yeah, that's what I hope. We're doing karaoke DJing. I just graduated life coaching school. I can now say I'm a CPIC, and next will be to take the ACC test in a few months, and I will hopefully be certified. And, I believe in the future people won't be able to afford therapy if it's too expensive. And sure, life coaching isn't the same as therapy, but life coaching can be helpful, and I can offer that. Hey, thank you for all of the chat messages today. So these are the things that we should think about. What can we offer each other? What can we do? And again, the book goes through that, so you can brainstorm in those areas. Ana Lucia says, I don't think that would work for me. I've been there. People expect healthcare to be free and get angry because you should want to help. So one of my best friends, who I've mentioned a bunch of times on the show, is in the San Francisco area, and he's an ex-tech guy, and a couple of years ago, he became a life coach. He went a different route than I did, but either way, he's a life coach. And he has some clients, and I said, what are they paying you? And he said, most of my clients are retail workers. They make $20-something an hour American, and they expect to pay me around twice that. That's how they're valuing his time. I make $20 an hour. I can pay my life coach $40 an hour. I make $22 an hour. I can pay my life coach $45 an hour. So this might be where we're headed. People are sending me UX researcher jobs right now that pay $40 an hour. So, yeah, it's something to think about. There's a lot of dimensions. There's a lot of moving pieces, and there isn't one answer. I can't say, okay, everybody do this. Or, hey, if you're a designer, go do this. If you're a researcher, go do this. If you're a product manager, you need to do this. I can't say. Some of you are going to end up in areas nobody imagined. Some of you are going to end up electricians or cutting hair or something else. I don't know. These are the directions that I think things are going in. That doesn't mean you should quit your job. It doesn't mean you should stop trying to work in tech. I want to work in tech too. I want to work in tech as long as I can. But we are in trouble. This is not ASMR, but it could be. Thank you. Discount ASMR. Healthcare is seen as a necessity, and asking for money is seen as greedy. I've been there. And that may be cultural, because in America, I don't think we have that perspective. I think we tend to have that perspective for teachers, like, oh, you love doing this thing, you should teach it to me, and that should be free or inexpensive because you love doing it and you probably love teaching it. I think teaching is sometimes devalued in an American culture. I don't see healthcare as being devalued, at least from my perspective. But again, that's going to be regional. I'm sure growing zucchini is devalued. You know, we think, farmers, but guess what? They keep us alive. So, yeah, I've even thought about going to farming school so that I can be a better farmer and grow food and stay alive. Why not? What would be wrong with that? It's not a bad idea. I don't know. Maybe I do that next year. This year was life coaching school. I enjoyed that. That was nice. And I'm enjoying doing life coaching. If anybody wants to try it out, the first call is free. You can learn more at dcx.coach. I got to put that up on this piece here. I got to redo that. Let's write that down. dcx.coach. Put that up on the board. So yeah, I do coaching both on the life coaching side and on the helping people with work and resumes and portfolios and interviewing side. It's all at dcx.coach. So yeah, we could probably wrap up. Usually these shows are 30 to 60 minutes. We've gone way up that. We're almost at 60 minutes. Can we share your Claude artifact? Yes, you are absolutely welcome to share my Claude artifact. And of course, you can always make a better version yourself if you'd like to. This is not, I don't feel precious about it. You know, go ahead, make your own version. If you'd like to share it, dcx.to/mefactors. And another thing I want to do while I'm looking at this is I feel off-centered. iOS. Where's me? Camera. Here we go. Let's see. I think I need to be over this way a little bit. How's that? That's better. So, yeah. You are welcome to share this out. You are welcome to play with it. You are welcome to disagree with it. You are welcome to make your own version. You are welcome to show it to other people. You are welcome to disagree with it. It's just a little thing Claude and I cooked up. You look great. Thank you. I've lost 20 pounds this summer, 9 kilograms, and that will be next Tuesday's topic. I'm going to be talking about, since in the Delta CX Hive, we are covering work stuff and life stuff as well. Next week, I'm going to talk about my weight loss and where it went right and wrong. And actually, I used Claude for it, not to replace a nutritionist or a dietitian or anything like that, but just as a spreadsheet I could talk to. I just showed you how I built mefactors, Soul Eater. Maybe you came after that. I started out with how it came from the Tomlinson paper that went viral on LinkedIn this summer. Soul Eater, that was the beginning of the stream. Did you miss it? You'll have to roll it back. This will be archived on YouTube. Ads interrupted me. Okay, that's possible. Sometimes you join a Twitch stream, you get a minute or so of ads before you can see anything. So the beginning of the stream is how I built the mefactors, for better or worse. Again, you may disagree. But thank you, Mystery. Congrats to me. Yes, I've got more to lose, but thank you. Yeah, so anybody who's curious about how I came up with it, roll back to the beginning of the stream, either here on Twitch or come on over to YouTube. All of the episodes are archived on YouTube, so you'll be able to go to YouTube, look for Delta CX, episode 276. Just look for Delta CX 276. Yes, watch it later on YouTube. Shiny, happy, healthy. And I'll be talking next week about that. And tomorrow is Wednesday, so I will be doing my Ask Me Anything. If you would like to ask a question, you can join live, or you can ask a question ahead of time at dcx.to/Q. Q for question. So that is that. So let's see. Let's get our wrap-up music started. And just thank everybody for joining me live or watching this later. Feel free to share this out for people who are curious. And again, it's scary, it's unsettling, it's not the best news, but it's stuff that I think we need to talk about. And it's possibilities that we need to consider. I don't think we can or should say, this can't happen to me, AI will never take my job. I think it is possible, and in some cases it's already happening, and we have to start being ready for what's next. All right, Mystery, any karaoke recommendations? Pick a song. Song for mystery. I'll ask you tomorrow why companies are doing the same thing as the others. Logos look the same, look so boring. Loom just lost to purple. Atlassian owns Loom. That could be a hint. Mystery says it's coming for all of us. I think it is. It's just a matter of when. I think it's coming sooner for designers than researchers. I think it's coming sooner for product managers than researchers. But I think it is coming for all of us. I think it's coming sooner for researchers than engineers. But, again, it's coming, and in some cases it's already here. So yeah, thank you again for everybody joining. I will say goodbye and see everybody, hopefully tomorrow. Thanks. Good luck. Plan. Life after check.